It's a question that echoes in the hearts of many. Why is God not answering my prayers? The silence can feel deafening, and the longing for a sign, any sign, can become overwhelming. Whether whispered in the quiet of the night or uttered in moments of desperation, this question reveals both the depth of our hope and the weight of our uncertainty. Throughout history, people of faith have wrestled with the mystery of unanswered prayers. Even the most devout figures, prophets, saints, and spiritual leaders, have experienced seasons of silence and longing. So if you're wondering why your prayers seem to go unanswered, you're not alone. This journey is part of the tapestry of faith, woven with both trust and doubt, hope and confusion. First, it helps to reframe what it means for a prayer to be answered. Often we imagine that an answered prayer is a direct, immediate response, clear and unmistakable, just as we requested. But the reality is often more complex. Sometimes the answer takes a different form than we expect. Sometimes the answer is delayed, and sometimes the answer is simply no, though we may not understand why. There are many reasons why it may feel as though God is not answering your prayers. One of the most important is timing. In many spiritual traditions, it is believed that there is a divine timing at work, one that is beyond our ability to comprehend. What seems like a delay or a denial may in fact be a part of a larger plan, one that is unfolding in ways we cannot yet see. The wisdom of waiting is a lesson that recurs throughout sacred texts, reminding us that patience is itself a form of faith. Another reason is perspective. From our limited viewpoint, we often focus on what we want, convinced that our desires are best. But from a spiritual perspective, what we want and what we truly need are not always the same. Sometimes what we ask for would not serve our highest good, even if we cannot see it at the time. The unanswered prayer, then, may be a form of protection or guidance, steering us away from paths that would harm us or lead us astray. There is also the matter of growth. Just as a loving parent doesn't always grant a child's every request, so too might a loving God withhold something for the sake of our growth. Challenges, disappointments, and the experience of waiting can shape us, deepening our character and expanding our capacity for empathy, gratitude, and resilience. The silence of unanswered prayer can become the soil in which deeper faith takes root. Sometimes the answer lies in the nature of prayer itself. Prayer is not only a way of asking, it is a way of aligning. When we pray, we open ourselves to the possibility of transformation, inviting a new perspective, a new strength, or a new sense of peace. The answer to our prayer may not be an external change, but an internal one. We may find ourselves growing in patience, in understanding, or in the ability to let go. It's also important to consider the role of expectation. When we approach prayer as a transaction, if I say the right words or have enough faith, then I will get what I want. We set ourselves up for disappointment. But if we approach prayer as a relationship, as a way of connecting with the divine, then the experience itself becomes the answer. The act of reaching out, of expressing our hopes and fears, can bring comfort and clarity even when the outcome remains uncertain. There are also times when obstacles within ourselves may block our sense of connection. If we are holding on to resentment, guilt, or unresolved pain, it can be difficult to feel the presence of God or to sense a response. In these moments, prayer becomes a space for healing and honesty, a place where we can lay down our burdens and invite grace into our lives. Throughout sacred texts, we find stories of people whose prayers were met with silence. The Psalms are filled with cries of anguish, with pleas for help that seemed to go unanswered. Even Jesus, in the Garden of Gethsemane, prayed for deliverance and was met with a path of suffering. These stories remind us that the experience of unanswered prayer is not a sign of failure or abandonment. Rather, it is part of the journey of faith, a journey marked by mystery, struggle, and hope. Sometimes the silence itself carries a message. It invites us to listen more deeply, to look for signs of grace in unexpected places, to trust that we are not alone, even when we cannot feel the presence we long for. The silence can become a space for reflection, for surrender, for discovering the quiet strength that comes from trusting in something greater than ourselves. If you are wrestling with unanswered prayers, know that your longing is heard. Your hopes and fears matter. The journey may be difficult, but you are not alone. In the waiting, in the questioning, in the silence, there is a presence that holds you, guides you, and loves you. Consider opening your heart to new forms of response. Look for the small signs of grace, a kind word, a moment of peace, an unexpected opportunity. These may be the answers you seek, though they come in gentle, unassuming ways. Trust that the story of your life is unfolding with purpose, even when the meaning is not yet clear. Above all, remember that faith is not a guarantee of easy answers, but a trust that carries us through uncertainty. It is okay to ask, to wrestle, to doubt. These are not signs of weak faith, but of a living, growing relationship with the divine. In the end, the silence of unanswered prayer may become the doorway to a deeper, richer understanding of love, hope, and the mystery at the heart of life. So when you find yourself asking, why is God not answering my prayers? Take heart. The silence may be an invitation to wait, to grow, to listen, and to trust. You are seen, you are heard, and you are not alone.